Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are so glad that you could join us once again for our English News Edition. I'm Daniel Cook, your host, Monday through Saturday at 6 p.m. In today's news, the conflict between the majority and the president about the appointment of ambassadors has had consequences for the diplomatic representation of Albania in countries in which we may play an important role, like Macedonia. For more than 2 months, the government has been proposing Fatos Reka as the ambassador to Macedonia, but the president is refusing to appoint him. The majority claims that after the latest scandal of spying in Macedonia, the appointment of an ambassador is urgent. The socialist MP Artan Dade had this to say: "I do not want to intervene with the competence of the president, but Albania's representation to Macedonia is urgent. We are concerned because the Commission has approved the candidate for the position, but the Republic of Albania still does not have an ambassador in the embassy of Skopje yet." The opposition said that the attitude of the president is because of the majority trying to make political appointments. The Democrat Aldo Bumshi responded to the issue. "It is clear that the crisis has been created by the Prime Minister and the government. They are applying an authoritarian system, a system that controls the independent institutions." The issue of the Albanian ambassador to Macedonia was discussed in the Commission of Foreign Policy today. The Interior Minister Sajmir Tahiri is visiting Serbia in order to attend a regional conference on terrorism, which is being held in Belgrade. During a speech at the conference, the minister said that a common plan of action is needed in order to fight terrorism in the regional countries. He said that the prejudice and bureaucracy in the region needs to disappear in order to see the best possible results in the fight against corruption. The next ministerial gathering on terrorism is expected to be held in Albania on May 19th through May 21st. The United States of America has been very clear in its appeals that Albania must not allow incriminated individuals to run in the local elections. The U.S. ambassador was invited to the Civil Forum on Local Elections today, where he made the statement that the Americans have said their piece, and now they are waiting to see how the Albanian politics will react. The director of the Civil Forum, former President Alfred Moisiu, called the political parties to improve their candidate list. The political scientist Afrim Krasniqi considered the debate between the political forces on the decriminalization issue to be ridiculous. He said that publicizing the names of the candidates who are allegedly incriminated would only be a way to cover up the truly incriminated. The civil society also discussed the work of the Central Election Commission. A former CEC member made the statement that the voters' lists have not received the necessary attention. According to her, this may have been done on purpose by the candidates, and this is not a good thing. The participants in the forum also raised the concern that there is public distrust in the work of the CEC. The independent candidate for the mayor of Tirana, Gjergj Bojaxhi, submitted his signatures to the CEC today. Mr. Bojaxhi said that he managed to collect 13,688 signatures, which is more than the requirement to run as an independent candidate. He said that his campaign will be a good example not only for Tirana, but for all of Albania. His campaign slogan is going to be "We Tirana," a motto that is intended to indicate the returning of Tirana to its citizens. Through a video on YouTube, Bojaxhi expressed his gratitude for the signatures and the conviction that there are thousands of citizens who do not want to leave their country in the hands of the corrupted political parties and their businesses. He said, "I am grateful and I thank you for your support. When I made the decision to run for the mayor of Tirana, I had the support of a very small group of people. Today we have thousands of people with the desire to not leave the country in the hands of the corrupted political parties and their businesses. Now is the time to make a change for our city." Gjergj Bojaxhi is the former director of the Albanian Energy Corporation, and 2 years ago he was part of the Democratic Party. He will now be competing for the city of Tirana against the socialist candidate Erion Veliaj, the Democratic candidate Halim Kosova, and 2 other independent candidates, Sazan Guri and Arben Tafaj. The legal quota for running as an independent candidate is 6,100 signatures. The CEC will now begin the process of verifying the signatures for legitimacy. The High Council of Justice has dismissed 2 judges today for hiding assets and accepting bribes. The judges Aliu and Panyaku were holding office in Kavaja and Pogradec, respectively. The 2 judges were relieved of duty today in the meeting of the High Council of Justice. On April 19th, the prosecution submitted an investigation file against the judge of Kavaja for hiding his assets. The prosecution says that the judge failed to declare 41 transfers of money, which amount to €10,200 and an apartment. He was also denounced by the Interior Minister, Saimir Tahiri, for a ruling that he made, which led to the release of some people with criminal precedents. The Tirana prosecution has finalized the investigations, and the judge of Kavaja, Osman Aliu, will be tried by the court of Kavaja. The majority has withdrawn from the article that was being considered, which would have allowed confiscation of citizens' homes if they did not pay their energy bills. However, they still want to set mortgage liens for energy consumers who have businesses if they have unpaid debts above a certain amount. This change was announced by the head of the Commission of Productive Activity, Bojaxhi, who said that this is being changed in order to better protect the consumers. The opposition is saying that the change to the article is merely an electoral tactic. The Democrats say that they will not vote for the law because it still burdens the citizens in the same way. One Democratic MP said, "We think that it is likely that the change was made for electoral purposes. The electoral campaign is coming, and maybe the Prime Minister saw it as a risk, or maybe he wants to make a last-minute improvement. We are not going to approve the law on energy as long as this article is included," he said. The change in the article was made after harsh debates in Thursday's plenary session, in which the majority did not approve the article because they lacked the necessary quorum. The Commission approved a resolution today asking the government to equip all consumers with energy meters by the end of 2016 and remove the flat-rate energy bills. Freedom House has published their annual report on the freedom of the media. According to this report, Albania remains categorized as partially free, and it is ranked in the 97th place with 49 points. An analyst from Freedom House says that the Western Balkan countries have generally become worse in many aspects regarding the freedom of the media. According to her, the television stations have a pro-government trend. She said, "Many of the laws in Albania match the best European standards, but usually what is lacking is implementation. The law on freedom of information is not always implemented. The real problem is the legal system, which is not strong enough. Large businesses control the media market, which is very small. Many media institutions are still quite new, and they lack independence." In the Freedom House report, the countries of the region are ranked as follows. Macedonia is ranked 125th, Bosnia is ranked 108th, Kosovo is ranked 100th, Serbia is ranked 82nd, and Montenegro is ranked 79th. All of these countries are categorized as partially free. Freedom House says that on a global level, the freedom of press in 2014 marked the lowest level in more than 10 years. That concludes our news for this evening, ladies and gentlemen. Please join us again tomorrow at the same time for more translated news. Thanks, and have a great night.